What is up, everybody? Well, got to do some field repairs here. I had a very hot, sweaty day in the combine yesterday when my AC compressor took a crap, but got all the stuff to fix it out here in the field. We'll even try out the generator on the old trimmer too here. Mrs. G yesterday went and picked this up for me. Thank you, Jeff, for getting that for her on a Sunday at the dealership. Compressor, receiver dryer. Got my digital scale, some R134A, and we will run the freaking mosquito right in my face. Gotcha, you bastard. We will use the generator on the truck to run the vacuum pump. At least this isn't a bad compressor to get to. I'm really glad it's not buried on the other side of the engine or something, but just take this air intake pipe out. 4 bolts. Alright, receiver dryer is replaced. Vacuum pump is up there running. I don't have my tripod with, otherwise I would show you the daily routine on this thing, but pretty much just grease a handful of Zerks. I need to oil my unload chains. Bright out here. Check my Draper belt tensions and take a look at all my sickle sections to make sure none of them are broken. I need to tighten up my feeder chain. Man, Jason hauled that load fast. And we need to go get the other Magnum and the other wagons from the last field. So I'll bring you back. So this is quite the procedure here on tensioning this chain on the Magnum Draper. So you tighten it to 6.8 Newton meters, and then you figure out which machine you got. So you tighten it to 6.8 and then you back it off 1 turn. Just take this little cover off, little keeper that goes in there. Use the old torque wrench here. Interesting. All right, I let it vacuum down for about 40 minutes or so. I've had the vacuum pump shut off for probably 10 minutes. She hasn't moved. boy, it's nice and icy cool in here now. Had to turn it up. It was freezing. But I used to grow corn on corn, continuous corn for years and years. I refused to plant beans, but the input prices got so high, and you need a lot more help to harvest. So I went back to 50-50 rotation, but that and the rootworm pressure started getting really bad. If you didn't rotate, you pretty much have to use insecticide. There's new corn varieties that are doing all right to control it, but I don't want to deal with insecticide. It's been years since I've had to deal with loading all that crap on the planter, but I don't know. I think I may start going more corn on corn for sure. Well, I don't remember. I think the last clip, maybe I was fixing the AC compressor earlier this week. Just been cranking away at beans. I'm on a different farm now, but I've got 60 acres left on this field, and then 250 acres more, and then I'll be done with beans. But I'm switching back to corn for tomorrow because it hasn't rained. There is no rain in the forecast. It's 80 degrees out right now on October 2nd or whatever, so these beans are just getting incredibly dry. 8.2%. So losing yield there, but I'm gonna finish this farm. And honestly, I've had about enough of combining beans for now. So many rocks and gullies on this ground out here that it's just mentally exhausting trying to watch for them all day long. It's very common out here to get to the end and have, you know, a 30-40 pound boulder just sitting there hitchhiking. He who spilleth shall also shoveleth. All right, so the 7250 drawbar has been clunking around, pulling the wagons. It's worn on the sides, and Jason, pull that thing out and we'll show underneath it. And it's worn there pretty bad. They didn't put very strong drawbars on these boxcar magnums. Like, if you're pulling a 1,000 bushel grain cart with one of these, you're just asking for trouble. So we upgraded. So this big old donkey was not cheap, but now if I ever want to run the grain cart on it, I'll feel a whole lot better about it. And it came with the hammer strap and the drop pin. We just don't need that because we're pulling wagons. I'm sure somebody's gonna ask. My poor truck it's a disaster. I'll find the receipt. It was not cheap. It's like $2,400 or something for the kit, but is what it is. That is a whole lot meatier. The bolts on the side, yeah, they were a little worn too. And there's the part number right there. So if you want to upgrade your boxcar Magnum drawbar, there you go. We also have a frickin' front wheel seal leaking. We've just been filling it up with Lucas hub oil to try to slow that down till I have time to mess with it. Jason last night went to tarp the wagons. You see anything missing on this one? That's awesome. Not quite sure where that fell off at. And the combine, when you hit a bump or go through a gully, it throws a bunch of one code and derates itself. So that's 99% of the time on these. The engine wiring harness has a bad spot. It was awesome yesterday. It derated on me going down the road when I hit a bump, and you have to shut it off, let the monitor shut down, and then start it back up, and it goes away. But I have the harness. That'll probably be tomorrow morning's project. This corn was my last planted corn last spring. My corn planting was spread out by pretty much a month due to a bunch of rain in the middle, but this stuff is running at like my favorite moisture, between 17 and a half, 19, averaging out like 18. But the combine by far does the best job at this moisture, in my opinion. Like the head doesn't shell bad. You don't have a bunch of head loss. It's not spitting corn out the back of the combine. It's coming off the cobs really good. I've been very impressed with these concaves. Late in the season last year, I was having a really hard time getting the kernels off the cob. Cases concaves are junk, if you ask me, but I ended up switching all the concaves out to an aftermarket brand. I believe they're called Condex concaves. But man, they do so much better of a job threshing. They got like these key stock pieces like on an angle in the first module, and it really aggressively shells the corn off on the first time around. But they work good. I'm impressed with them. We have been absolutely hammering it out here today. This field is a perfectly square 200 acre field of corn. It's like 3/4 mile long rows. So once you get all the headlands off, that takes forever, but once you get the headlands off on this one and you can break out of land and get going, you can push some corn out of this field in a day. We have a semi hauling for us today, so we could just keep moving, but the elevator's open for like a little over 3 more hours tonight. I will get back to you guys on how many semi loads we hauled out of here today, but it's gonna be a lot for an 8-row head, I can tell you that. All right, it's 6:45 at night. We didn't start till 9 o'clock this morning by the time we got done working on stuff, but that load right there is the 19th semi-load for the day. Pretty darn good through 8 rows, but it's not our record day. I think we've done around 25, but pretty darn good day. We took a pretty big whack out of this field. So another, let's see, 75 to 80 acres left here for tomorrow. So thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good weekend.